part 2.
Part 2 of the 10/1 or
Yeah, the week 10,
week 10,
day 1.
day 1.
Yeah. So if you missed part 1, guys, we gave a complete sort of in a nutshell recap of buying the land right through to where we're at now, which is about a 10-month process, but we spent 6 months in Canada.
Yeah. What? That's
Stuff on your feet. She's always eating.
I'm always eating.
Okay, so our steel arrived for our gates.
Yes.
Let's get to some of the day. From this angle, I hope you can see it. They're attaching the strapping, as it were, to the end so that the fascia can be attached. If I show you the edge of the garage, you can see that the gutter kicks and of course it's flat. These are big gutters, guys? Big gutters. Even in that torrential downpour the other day, we didn't overflow. Now, I thought that that was gutter going up the side. It's not. It's just a fascia, but it's designed to match. We got to get the soffits on here. He's got birds trying to nest in there. Tai is back in the building, guys. He's back. In case you didn't know, we hunted down Tai and we've told him, you know, come on Mondays, just come for a day. And we've told him clearly that if he wants work, we can get him, you know, 1 day a week or a week a month. You know, you choose, you decide what you would like to do. There's a whole long story behind it. I'll just cut to the chase basically and just say that, you know, he's 72 years old and he doesn't qualify in this barangay for his senior's pension because there's so many seniors here. The allotment runs out before he hits his age. Literally, somebody has to die in order for him to move up the list. He's a biga. That's crazy, man. So for any of you whining and complaining about some stuff that goes on in your Western country, get over it. Start shedding all that garbage, guys, especially if you're going to come to the Philippines. If all you're going to do is trade one garbage for another garbage, you're not ready for it. You got to learn to let it all go. Okay, let's have a look at the front fence. Joseph likes to go splat, 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 splat. He's very good at the plastering, guys. What they have to do is they have to take some chipping out like this, and then they can do the plastering so it'll hold on. And so Joseph is doing what they do, which is throw that plaster on and then start working it down. If you missed our other videos, the 2 anchoring posts are going to be 10-inch, plus the plaster layer, of course. And there's Apollo. Apollo's in prison. As we get to the build, there's our dwarf coconut. I'm not sure at what point you put it in the ground, but it feeds off of itself. Interesting. Okay, the guys are doing a small mix, just enough to top it up. The roof is well underway. Let's run around to the other side and we'll have a look at the roof. Now, we're not going to do a super fine skim coat on this, guys, just so you know. So this will be a polish and then that will finish it. I think I got to go get those hinges because I don't see it. Anyway, you see how they toss the water on. They make it into almost like a porridge and then work it back and forth to get it smooth. And then they come back and find the low spots and fill it in. Just like you saw a moment ago where he filled in that one low spot. Okay, let's go grab the hinges and we'll see how he's going to work this in, because this curious mind wants to know. Okay, Lynn has handed over the next deposit because our roofing material has come in, and then he will take it to a company and have it rolled into our design. That's cool. Okay, Now the cocoa lumber, it's all starting to come out. And I'm not going to show it to you guys because I want to just go boom. Cocoa and no cocoa. Suffice to say is what they're going to do, because they would like a little bit longer pinning, because we've had some of, pretty good rainstorm a couple of times a week, and we've had evening rain. So with that in mind, the guys are going through and just putting, say, two, not where the pillars are, I'm not showing you, in the middle of the tie beam, two different supports, so creating thirds as it were, and just going straight up between the hollow block and the beam. Cool. I'm not gonna show ya. Okay, up front with Joseph, we got the hinges figured out, what the plan was there. Of course, I'm the last to know. But what they're going to do is attach a piece of flat bar, now that the angle iron is exposed, a piece of flat bar that will come out, and then that gets welded onto our hinge. And where that pokes out, then they can nicely dress around the concrete, so that the only thing protruding is that piece of steel. Okay guys, we found some nicely milled hinges. You can see those things, they just slide in and out of there so good. Got a place to add the oil. Perfect. Joseph has worked out the how he's going to weld onto it, etc. I've just got to make sure that he is aware of the fill location, because what he's used to doing, and I'll just give an example with a piece of pipe, he's used to just grabbing a piece of metal pipe, this is plastic, and then shoving a piece of rebar down the middle and making a hinge. Of course, all they do is rust and bind and squeak and all that sort of thing. Okay, and we got our steel in for the gates, various, and what we're going to do, just with my finger, is come down 45, go across 45, and go back up again. So it will look more like what we've got down there, not her. And have, the concrete, two pillars, and then put the finish in between, so that will kind of match up. So we will start with 4 hinges. I learned my lesson in the past on that. Mount your whole thing, and then when you get ready to put your 3rd hinge in, because you have 3 on each side with a heavy gate like that, then you weld that in afterwards, after it's all stabilized and everything, and you don't get one binding against the other. So even though the goats abuse these moringa, they are coming back, no problem at all. And like many plants, if you get to the point of seed and flower, if you pluck the flower off, quite often, got to check your plant, of course, it will encourage more growth. And the alibati is coming in nicely. Cool. Small little bit of dirt left over, but honestly, once that alibati is done, some of that soil's got to go in there. And once we stop getting these evening rains, I can get in here and tamp that down. Our tote is in place. Yay! So Lynn can comfortably come down here. We bought adapters to go on the end of the IBC totes, so we can put a hose on there, we can put anything we want on there. Cedra is back. My doggie is back. She came over for multiple hugs today as soon as she saw me. As soon as I have this deck, I know she's going to be staying with me all the time. But she's got fleas. I'm going to get her a flea bath, I think. Just get some of that spray on stuff. The view of a trike driver. Okay, let's have a quick little talk here. Guys, when you hire your crew, and we made this mistake last year, and we've made it a couple of more times this year, don't allow the guys to take advances. I know that a lot of these guys live real time, but I also know, especially after being in Canada for a while, we kind of realized we made a mistake on that. Yes, they live real time, but also when we left, many of them didn't have work for multiple months. So, there's always a way around getting your food and stuff. But what seems to happen is that the guys see money, and like a lot of us, you know, let's see it with the foreigners too, you know, dipping into the medical fund or whatever to go have some fun and getting themselves in trouble. So we have informed the crew now that they can only have advances to a maximum of half of their paycheck halfway through the week. No more advances other than that. No more little advance here, little advance there to go off and get an energy drink or any of that kind of stuff. It's kind of backfired when Lynn and I both realized that we hadn't deducted from a couple of guys, we hadn't deducted that week's amount owing. And so now we're having to chip away each week. And of course, they want to continue the advance process. And we've just said, well, we've got to get you right back to being in balance. And so, you know, this week, if we take your complete debt off, let's say there's 3,000 pesos left for the whole week, then the maximum you can take is 1,500. But remember, on Saturday, you're only going to get 1,500. So we've got to stop doing that. It's been an error on our part. We've had one crew member that's, you know, been in real dire straits, guys, and we understand, and I'm not going to get into the reason why, but he needs money. And, you know, at some point you have to draw the line because we might not see this guy back now. So that could be a bit of an issue. And as much as we will probably bonus these guys when we're finished, it's sure not going to be to the tune of what he's owed. If you're going to run a crew, say that they can only have advances on Wednesdays, let's say, and that's it. Later, Gators.